Okay, I think we can make a start. Brilliant. Good afternoon, everyone. Prynhawn da bawb. I'm Dr. Catrin Williams, and it's a real privilege to be giving you an overview today of a really brand new, shiny MSc course that we're offering you at the School of Biosciences. We've been developing this over the past year, so it's really exciting today to actually be able to tell you a bit more about it, to be able to tell you what we'll be offering. So the title of the MSc, first of all, is Biomedical and Biomolecular Technology. And at the end of this course, you'll graduate with an MSc, which is a Master of Science. Okay? So I'm going to give you a broad overview of the course today. If you do want to get in touch with any questions, you can do so using my email address, which is just here. I'll have it on the last slide as well. Or you can get in touch with me on LinkedIn. You can have a search for me, I'll be on there, okay? So, just a bit about what I'll be covering today. We'll go through an overview of the BBT MSc, so I might abbreviate it sometimes to BBT MSc to begin with. We'll go through the programme structure of how the modules are going to be spread out over time and what the modules will be offering. We'll then talk a little bit about student experience and finally talk about careers prospects that you can expect to have if you decide to study with us. I'll give you a little bit on an overview of the admissions criteria, and I can answer any questions then for a bit of time at the end. I'll also be at the stand over in the Centre for Student Life after around 2 o'clock. So if you want to come and talk to me then as well, that's absolutely fine. Just a disclaimer before I get into the detail, we are still finalising some of the final details of what's going to be delivered in the modules themselves, although we do have a good idea at this point of what that's going to be. So some of the details I present to you might be subject to change, and I'll outline that as I go along. Okay, to start with then, what is this course? So again, the title is Biomedical and Biomolecular Technology, and it's a new MSc course that's going to be hosted at the School of Biosciences here. It's our first MSc course here that focuses on biomedical sciences in particular. Okay, we offer another MSc course which focuses on global ecology and conservation, but this is the only one that enables you to focus on biomedical and biomolecular research areas in particular. Our first intake will be in September 2026, so this coming September. And the course will be a year-long course. It'll be full-time only, and all the modules that you sit on the course will be worth a total of 180 credits over the course of the year. It'll be split into 2 different parts. The first part will be your taught stage, stage 1. That'll be worth 120 credits, and it's made up of 6 20-credit modules, which are all core modules. We believe that all these modules that we're offering are really crucial to getting you to pick up those learning outcomes that we want to deliver during the programme. This is followed by stage 2, which is the dissertation stage, and this will be where you conduct a research project. So this will occur over a period of around 5 months, from May to around September, and it'll be worth 60 credits. Okay? The overall aim of the course is to enable us to develop the next generation of innovative, interdisciplinary and adaptable biomedical scientists. And we want you to be equipped to lead innovation and to really drive meaningful change in this rapidly growing and evolving global health landscape. Okay? So I think all of you are studying some sort of course at Cardiff University already, so you're already familiar with Cardiff as a city, and I hope you agree with me that it's a really lovely city to live in and to study in. We're surrounded by, if you're interested in theatre, if you're interested in sports, then we've got lots of opportunities to get involved and to visit lots of different attractions like that. We've got the lovely bustling Cardiff Bay area that you can see here. We've got the Cardiff City in the distance, but also through to the mountains that you can see here. These are the Brecon Beacons, and so opportunities to have, lots of time, maybe walking in the mountains, maybe visiting the coast. So I've worked and studied here since my undergraduate degree. I did my degree here at the School of Biosciences, and I also did my PhD here as well, and have been here ever since, basically. So I think it's a really lovely city to live and work in. It offers you a really nice work-life balance. But in terms of what we offer at the School of Biosciences in particular, you might already know that 88% of the research that we do here at School of Biosciences in biological sciences is either world-leading or internationally excellent. We're ranked 7th for research impact and 8th for research power, again in biological sciences across the UK. So we're really firmly placed within the top 10 in terms of our research impact and power within the UK. And if you look at the Shanghai ranking, back in 2021, we were ranked 27th worldwide and 4th in the UK, again for biological sciences. So we are really competing with the best universities in the world here. So it's a really great place for you to study. Within the school itself, the school can offer you lots of advantages in terms of supporting the teaching that we're delivering on the course, but also the research projects that you'll be doing later on. So you might not know this, but we have 7 state-of-the-art technology hubs that's based within Cardiff School of Biosciences. And if you visit the website, and I'll give you a quick demo of that now, you'll be able to see the range of different technology hubs that we've got on offer for you. We've also got 4 very active research divisions, and for your research project, you'll be placed with an academic member of staff within one of these research divisions. These include biomedicine, molecular biosciences, neuroscience, and organisms and environment. So I'm a member of the Organisms and Environment division. My work is very much biomedically orientated. So there's a number of researchers, even within an organisms and environment group, that deal with biomedical problems also. So I'm a microbiologist, and my research interest is on infection biology and looking at new ways of detecting and treating microbial pathogens. We also have really strong links to 8 university research centres or institutes. And examples of these include the Medicines Discovery Institute, the Dementia Research Institute, and also the Cancer Stem Cell Research Institute as well. And again, I'll show you on the website in a minute where you can find all that information if you want to learn more. We also have a very vibrant postgraduate community, which you become a member of if you decide to study with us. So I'm just going to quickly get the website open. Okay, here we go. You can have a look. So if you go to the Cardiff University website and you scroll down, if you go to the research tab, you scroll down here and you can see on the left-hand side institutes and centres. It's got links to all these centres here you can see listed, and you can have a look at what they do, what sort of research they're interested in for these different institutes and centres. And then if you go down further, we've got the technology hubs, and you can see the range that we've got here from bioimaging, single-cell analysis, small molecule research, plant technology, protein technology, genomics, biocomputing, and then this core technology hub then that manages equipment across the school and also elsewhere. All right, so as part of your project, you'll have the opportunity to be upskilled in some of these research techniques, but also we're bringing it into some of the teaching that we're offering you as well. Okay. So we'll go through this quickly. Okay, so this is what we want to try and achieve at the end of the course. This is where we want you to be. So we want to enable your transition into career-ready global citizens. Now, what does that mean in a biomedical context? So we want you to have a really in-depth understanding of what these urgent biomedical health challenges are. And I've listed some of them here: antimicrobial resistance, ageing populations, chronic health conditions, health inequalities. These are just some of them. There will be others as well. And then what we want you to be able to do is to become confident in knowing which advanced technologies are applicable to studying and to ultimately coming up with some real-world solutions to these urgent biomedical health challenges. Some of the technologies I've highlighted already are aligned with some of the research hubs that we have. So omics-based technologies, bioimaging, gene editing, vaccine technologies and how AI can be applied to all of these as well. And then some of the real-world solutions involve looking at new innovations to tackle diagnostics, therapies, and disease management strategies. Okay? And ultimately, what we want to do is really boost your employability so that you've got broader career prospects at the end. What does that mean in real terms, in terms of how we're delivering the programme? As I mentioned, we've got stage 1, which is the taught stage. This is 120 credits. In the autumn semester, you will be delivered some taught modules which will help you develop a strong knowledge and skills base. You'll be asking questions in the autumn semester like, what are the fundamental mechanisms of disease? How can we accurately model diseases in the lab? And what are the cutting edge technologies available to study these? In the spring semester then, you'll take that really strong knowledge and skills base and you'll mobilise that knowledge to thinking about how you can achieve real-world impact from that. So we'll ask questions like, how can we translate this to applications in diagnostics or in drugs or in interventions? Okay? At the end of stage 1, there is an optional exit point here. So students who choose to exit at this point will graduate with a postgraduate diploma, and that will be judged at the stage 1 exam board and subject to passing all the assessments associated with these modules. Most students at MSc decide to go on and do stage 2, which is the dissertation stage. This is the research project. And as I mentioned, it's worth 60 credits. And this is your opportunity then to apply all of this knowledge and transferable skills that you've developed in stage 1 and to really actively contribute to your chosen field. So you'll be able to choose a research project within a lab that does research that you're interested in a biomedical or biomolecular field. And you'll be able to really develop your own research interests, hypotheses, on an independent basis and ultimately contribute to your field in that way. So the research project will be around 5 months long. As I mentioned, you'll be embedded within one of our research groups at the School of Biosciences. You'll have access to our technology hubs and also to the research centres and institutes. Now, our projects will be released very early. We'll have a list of projects that'll be available for you to choose from, we hope, week 1. But there will be opportunities for you to develop your own projects, if that's what you want to do, by contacting academic members of staff separately. Okay? And this is just to say at the end of stage 2, when you've passed all the assessment components associated with this stage, then you'll proceed through the stage 2 exam board and you'll graduate as Master of Science. Okay? And throughout this period, throughout the year, we're really developing your knowledge, your skills base, your independence, and ultimately your employability within this field. So who is going to be delivering the course? So these are the module leads, and those of you that study with us will be familiar with a lot of these faces already. These are the module leads, but we will have other contributors as well that will be contributing to the taught components, and obviously your projects might be based with other academic members of staff. Collectively, we have a really diverse and interdisciplinary range of research interests. As I mentioned, I'm a microbiologist, as is Helen Brown. We're interested in different microbiome communities. Dr. Mark Young, he is our postgraduate taught lead for the school, and he's interested in protein biochemistry. Dr. Emma Blaine is interested in arthritis. Dr. Yassir Syed is a neuroscientist. Dr. Francesco Massia is interested in point-of-care diagnostics, and Dr. Helen Waller-Evans is interested in therapeutics. So we have, as well as having diverse and interdisciplinary research interests, we have expertise in a really broad range of technologies. I myself am interested in bioimaging, but we have specialists in omics technologies, as I mentioned, in drug development and discovery, in new diagnostic pathways, and in disease modelling, for instance, throughout our leaders. And between us all, we have more than 300 publications. We're really research active members of staff. Some of us have senior academic roles, as I've pointed out for Mark here. And some of us are also members of the Equality, Diversity and Inclusion committees within the school. So we can make sure that your experience is a really good one. We make sure that the course is a really good course for you to take and that we're inclusive in our teaching. This is a more detailed breakdown of the module structure. It contains a little bit of a flavour as to what these modules will be offering. As I mentioned, we have 3 modules in the autumn semester, which are here. And then these are applied data science, which is led by Dr. Mark Young. The reason we wanted the applied data science to come first is because some students can be a little bit wary of using programs like R and bioinformatics and handling large data sets. We wanted to really break down the barriers here quite early on so that you become comfortable with doing this and you can apply these sorts of techniques as you're going through the course. So there'll be training in core stats using R and bioinformatics. The teaching will also be linked to our technology hubs, and at the moment these are the 3 hubs that we're targeting: bioimaging, genomics and single cell analysis. So we'll be looking at data sets derived from these sorts of technologies. Then coming on to disease dynamics, led by Emma. She'll be reviewing universal mechanisms in health and disease and looking at diagnostic modalities and drug targets in specific disease examples. This will be the underpinning knowledge that you need to move on then to the other taught modules that we can see. So moving on to Yasir's module, he'll be taking the knowledge that Emma has instilled and he'll be applying that then to looking at how we can model these diseases in the lab. Examples of diseases could include cancer, neurodegeneration, infection, musculoskeletal disorders, for instance. And he'll be showing you how you can use in vitro models such as stem cells, transplants, ex vivo and non-human models to study these diseases and the technologies that you can use then to derive data from them, like high throughput platforms, the use of AI in spatial biology. You can see this long, thin module here. This is a module which is called Core Skills for Research and Innovation. This is a module that I'll be leading, and it derives from my experience as the Careers and Employability Lead for the school previously. And this is really a professional skills module. The reason I wanted it to flank both semesters was because I wanted to be a really supportive module that will not only support you through the course, but it'll support your employability thereafter. We've got a range of guest speakers, really exciting guest speakers from industry and beyond that we'll be bringing into it. We'll have science communication masterclasses. We'll have an enterprise week that we want to do. And we'll embed these key principles of bioethics, of things like One Health, of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, for instance, so that we enable you to transition to these career-ready global citizens at the end. And then moving on to the spring, we'll then be mobilising that knowledge, as I mentioned, so that we'll have 2 modules on disease detection and disease intervention. Francesco will be leading disease detection, looking at gold standard and novel approaches for diagnosing diseases. He'll be telling you what sort of performance metrics you use for this, what sort of biomarkers that you can use. He'll be applying AI for detection purposes as well, population screening and precision medicine. Helen has really strong links to the Medicines Discovery Institute, and she'll be bringing in her contacts from that institute to delivering some of the teaching here. She'll be covering all sorts of different therapeutic modalities from cell level, protein level, gene level and talking therapies, telling you about how we can discover new small molecules with therapeutic properties, and then linking these to specific disease challenges that will have been outlined to you by Emma and Yasir earlier on in the course. She'll also tell you about how you can transition this knowledge from the lab to the clinic, so making it really sort of real world orientated. And then finally, you'll be transitioning through to the research project module that's led by Helen. This is a 5-month project, as I mentioned, and you'll have a report and a Viva style assessment at the end. And we're going to try and make these projects as multidisciplinary as possible. We want them to be as far as possible, cross-school or cross-sector, with links to our technology hubs and our research institutes potentially as well. But that's obviously very project-specific. Just a few slides left now. I just want to take you through what our assessments are going to look like. All our assessments are going to be coursework based, so there's not going to be any exams apart from maybe a couple of class tests, so no formal exams. Okay? There's going to be typically around 2 to 3 assessments per module, although that is under review at the moment and will decrease if anything. Okay? The pass mark at level 7, which is MSc level, is 50%. So that differs from your undergraduate degrees, where it would have been around 40%, definitely at the School of Biosciences anyway. And what happens if you fail a module? If you fail one module, then you're permitted to resit just after the stage 1 exam board before you start the research project. If you fail 2 or more modules, then you will need to repeat the academic year. So just be wary of that, okay? In terms of student experience and your contact hours, you can expect around 12 hours per week in the autumn semester and around 8 hours per week in the spring semester. Now, there is a bit of space in the spring semester for you to maybe explore work experience opportunities, for instance. There'll be a couple of days that you could maybe squeeze in some work experience here and there. And overall, we expect the contact days, so these hours will be spread out across around 3 to 4 days in the autumn and around 2 to 3 days in the spring. You'll have 2 reading weeks, one in the autumn, one in the spring, which give you a bit of a breather in the middle of the teaching, allows you to maybe focus on some of the assessments that are coming up. And then we'll have a welcome event that all our postgraduate taught students are invited to attend. It instills a nice sense of community within our cohorts, and it allows you to network with both staff and students. You'll also be assigned a personal tutor, and some course reps will also be assigned nice and early for us to make sure that we're keeping on track and monitoring student experience. All right, last couple of slides now. So career prospects. I haven't got time to go through all of them here, but some of the career prospects that you can expect to get as a result of taking this course. If you want to stay in academic research and go into higher education, then an MSc will really help you get there. It'll give you that experience of an intensive research project. It'll give you the experience and skills in some of the technology hubs and some of the analytical skills and critical evaluation skills that we want to see in PhD students. And it'll also enable you to network and form those links. You can also expect prospects in the pharmaceutical and biotechnology industries due to the modules and the guest speakers that I've outlined already. In terms of healthcare and clinical research, it's not an accredited MSc, okay? But it will enable you to go into things like clinical trial design, to health technology assessment, for instance, that are applicable for healthcare and clinical research. In terms of data science and bioinformatics, roles such as a data analyst, bioinformatician, you can go into maybe health analytics, looking at diagnostics and therapeutics, and how AI can be integrated into these roles. And then finally, looking at policy, consultancy and innovation, you can expect perhaps advisory roles in health policy, innovation consultancy and science communication roles as well. Okay? And don't forget that this is supported by an entire module which is really dedicated to professional skill development. This is an outline of the admissions criteria. So you can see that what we're asking for is a 2-1 honours UK bachelor's degree in a relevant scientific discipline or an overseas qualification of equivalent standard. If you meet this, then all you need to provide us with is either 2 references if you're coming from outside of Cardiff, or 1 reference if you're from within Cardiff. Needs to be academic reference, at least one of them. A copy of your degree transcripts, and if you're an overseas student, then we're requiring between 6.5 to 5.5 in terms of the IELTS score. If you don't have a degree in a relevant area, then we're asking for a little bit more information for you so that we can check that this course is right for you. We want a personal statement and we want a CV as well as 2 academic references. Now, all this information is going to be shortly posted online, so please sign up for the updates, and if you scan the QR code, if you haven't done so already, you can sign up for the updates here. I'll be, as I mentioned, on the stand over at the Centre for Student Life, School of Biosciences, from around 2 o'clock. I can take any questions now over the next 5 minutes or so, or you can email me using this email address. Okay? Thank you very much, everyone, for coming along. Diolch yn fawr iawn, and hope to chat more soon. Thank you.